happy Saturday to you. Today, we're going to be talking about confidence and self-responsibility, and I'm going to have some really fun exercises. Well, I think they're fun because anything that brings learning in a very creative way, I love. And it's a very experiential. Now, you may not enjoy the experience in itself, but it will teach you a lot about self-responsibility. So before I get to that, my name is Kiana, and I have been doing these live videos for this month of October to discuss building confidence from within in a very unique way. Not by directly like mindset, because that's people that doesn't really work. Fake it till you make it does not work. But what does work is kindness. One act of conscious kindness from your heart, expressed from your heart to in your environment, however you see fit. If you do this every day for the month of October, you will indeed change your life. You will see, feel, and experience yourself differently. The key is to be kind from your heart to build inner unification. The confidence is tied to your inner world. If you think it's about what you think, you're missing out, because everything is built from the inside out. When you're focused on the outside, focus on your thoughts, focus on everything outside yourself like results, you miss this inner world that really dictates everything. So kindness is a tenet of the laws of one, and we are here to build our alignment in unification to confidence and unity consciousness. And we do that by expressions from our heart, being kind to one another, consciously making actions to be kind and be the change we want to see. Now, kindness is not a very popular topic, it seems. People would rather sit and complain about their life over and over and over again. I'm so lonely. I don't have any friends. My family sucks. Life sucks. My husband sucks. Like, people just say they don't be addicted to your problems. That's what I would say for you. Hello, India. Your problems are focus, right? And that's why we're focusing on self-responsibility today. So I may say some things that trigger you. I may say some things that you don't like, but it's an opportunity for you to look at yourself in a different way. Self-responsibility is a game changer. Now, this goes hand in hand with being kind, because if you are taking full responsibility, you're going to be more kind to others. If you are acting out of impulses or reacting, you're missing the whole, I'm going to say the entire gift of shifting your reality. Okay? So I once followed this practice of meditation from Sadhguru. Some of you in India might be familiar with Sadhguru. But he actually had this amazing exercise. And I've only heard it in the classes. I've never heard it in any of his videos where he talks about it, but he may have talked about it publicly. But this is not my exercise. I got this from Sadhguru, and Sadhguru had this exercise that was so simple and absolutely profound. And it's not regulated to meditation. It's not regulated to being in any kind of group. Everybody in the world who wants to be more confident needs to understand that self-responsibility is a tenet of confidence, and it also is of leadership. So, what is the exercise? I'm going to get to it really simply. The exercise is this. Simply take 100% responsibility for absolutely everything that you experience, everything you think, everything you experience. If you're listening to music, you're taking responsibility for the music. If something happens, you take responsibility for it. That is it. Now, you do that for an entire period of 24 hours, okay? You have to commit to doing it. Hey, Nick, good to see you. Hey, good to see you. I've been here by myself chatting for the last week, so good to see a friendly person in the chat here. So you take responsibility, 100% responsibility every single moment of 24 hours, okay? At the end of 24 hours, I want you to write down, what is it I learned about myself by taking full responsibility? Now, most people feel a level of frustration, so you definitely want to check that out. And but really focus on, how did you feel by taking responsibility? What did you learn? How did you feel? And notice those things. Okay, so self-responsibility is a key to getting change. It's also key to confidence. So if you want to be more confident, you got to take full responsibility. And why is responsibility so important? It's because you are a co-creator of your reality. And because you're a co-creator of your reality, you must take responsibility for what you're experiencing so you can adjust and change. You cannot change your direction if you do not know that you're responsible for it. It's so much harder. And I have leaders that I've worked with in the corporate field, they always want to blame, okay? Blame is a lack of responsibility. It's a lack of self-responsibility. And it's also a program. So there is programs out there like victimizer programming. There's what is the other one? Divide and conquer. There's a million programs of limitation, of poverty, of lower consciousness, blah, 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 blah. We can go on and on. But what's most important is that you know that that can shift and change the moment you choose to take full responsibility for your entire experience. So, Mick, have you done this exercise before? I talked about it, I believe, last year. Mahara is saying, forget about the past and just live and enjoy in the present moment. All right, I'm totally for that. Yeah, if you want to pretend that the past doesn't exist, that's totally your choice. But we do have histories, and those histories, if we don't understand them, they impact our frequency. So you can totally enjoy the present moment if you're actually present. But if you're just pretending that the past doesn't exist, I don't think that works. I made another latte, y'all. I love them. Okay, Mick is saying life popped up. Oh, life is happening, Mick. I'm just glad that you're here, and I'm glad that you're doing well. Hopefully you're still implementing those daily conscious acts of kindness every single day from your heart. The key is kindness from the heart, right? Because that's how we shift and change. I'm daily thinking about exercise, but I've never tried to do exercise. I don't know what you're saying there. This is an exercise of taking full responsibility. Your live is very informative. Oh, thank you. And motivation. Okay. Okay. Thank you so much for being here, Durgesh. I think 2 lessons I have to be learned from the past to move forward and don't stay stuck in the past. The key is, okay, look. I'm going to be really honest about people who say, about my experience of people who want to just move on. Moving on is great, but if you're moving on and you haven't learned all of your lessons, and you have not integrated them, they're just going to repeat. How messed up is that? How many of you have experiences that are so painful, you just want them to be done? But that doesn't make them done. When you integrate your learning and your lessons, they become transmuted, and you actually can actively move forward in a proactive way instead of a denial way. Now, I know everybody has different processes. I know some people integrate their learnings in different ways. All I know is what I have been, what I have learned from my guides, what I have learned in my way of healing myself, in that when I become conscious of my lessons and I really am present to the lessons, they become integrated into my field, and we have this thing called embodiment of higher consciousness. When we have embodiment of higher consciousness, and I'm here to share with you all, if you don't know this already, the ascension process is all about embodiment. If you know things intellectually and you haven't embodied it, meaning it's a part of who you are, then you're missing out. You're just simply missing out. And to move past things without learning them, well then, I know I've had some pretty painful lessons, and they repeat and they repeat and they repeat until you learn those soul lessons, those deep, wounded ways of patterns. They're there. They don't go away just because you think they're going to go away. At some point, you will have to consciously learn those lessons. That's one thing that I believe and know, is that whether you believe it or not, whether you know it or not, whether you're ignorant of the truth or not, you must learn your lessons, right? Soul lessons do hit hard. Oh my gosh, soul lessons hit hard for sure. Okay, let me just see. It definitely works because you still think about the past, and that means you can't live happy with your present moments. Well, I actually had quite a profound experience. Like, I do a lot of my own learning, but there was something that was happening with my mother's anniversary of her passing that I thought was really interesting, and I talked with somebody about this, and there was like an element of unforgiveness with my siblings, which was surprising. But once I addressed that, it completely shifted the anniversary of my mother passing for me. Now, when my mother passed, my sister and my brother and I, we don't communicate frequently. So they don't really know anything about me and what I do and how I live, and vice versa. And that's by choice, and also by our lessons, I suspect. I have my lessons in it, they have their lessons in it, but I really wanted to understand really fully how I can transmute and find greater ease with my mother's passing. And it came from really having and holding deep compassion for my brother and sister. Which usually when I'm on an anniversary, I'm not really thinking about them as much as I'm thinking about my mother and her transition. Anyways, long story short, once I processed it differently, the anniversary didn't hit the same way. So having compassion, having forgiveness for all situations that cause us disruption is really important. That doesn't mean you invite toxic people, or I don't want to say toxic people with toxic behaviors, not toxic people. People with toxic behaviors, you don't invite them into your world. And that's one reason why I don't have regular conversations with my brother and my sister, is it's not a healthy dynamic. There's a lot of woundedness from people who like to just move on, but they haven't moved on. because we have cellular memory. And so you can think you're moving on, but when you're having a reaction or a memory, it's triggering all of your cells. And when people are in those states, what do? They project on others and they say, oh, she's the cause of this. And they get into that loop of lack of self-responsibility. So nobody is the cause of your pain. It's your pain because you're feeling it. And because you're feeling it, you can heal it. But you can't heal it if you're not taking full responsibility. So that's why I gave that exercise that I shared earlier, 24 hours. Mick is saying soul lessons hit hard. Soul lessons hurt the most. But Mick, when you heal them all, and I've thought about doing this. I've thought about doing a class just on soul lessons so people could understand how they can heal. And I thought if we did it in a group, it might work better. Because sometimes when we're doing it on our own, we don't want to do it, but if we do it in a group and everybody else is doing it, maybe we'll do it. I don't know. I've been toying with the idea for almost a year now, and I haven't done it. But maybe I will when I get back from my next trip. Maybe it'll be my Thanksgiving gift. Soul Lessons by Kiana. Happy Thanksgiving. Because it really is about being grateful and thankful for those soul lessons, because your soul is, and a lot of people don't even know that their soul exists. I mean, could you imagine? It's true. People don't even understand how their soul relates to their experiences, but it does. Yeah. Okay. You know what you are, so don't think about what others think of you. Well, okay. Not everyone, even your own family, sometimes they're just not a part of your journey. Well, you have a relationship with them whether you want to or not, right? Because they're your family. So you have soul lessons with everybody in your family. Soul lessons with everybody in your family. They're not all the same, right? The lessons, just because you have brother and sister, they're not the same. You have a different relationship with them. You have the masculine and feminine aspect, but you also have different lessons. And I would say, I will say that my friends from high school actually remember more about my dynamics with my brother and my sister than I do. They just remember more. Hey, Zoya! Hello! Zoya, how are you? My girlfriend would tell me things, and I was like, oh, I didn't remember that. So, my relationship with my sister was just very competitive. And I wouldn't say that I competed with her in like a traditional sense. I think there was a lot of, whenever there's sisters, there's often comparisons. Like, I got this, you didn't get that kind of comparisons. But I was the youngest, so I experienced it differently than she did, I'm sure. I got a little bit of insight on that this last month from her. And it was very enlightening. I don't know that I'll get another opportunity to have that conversation, but, even with my parents divorcing, their memory of the divorce is very different than mine. Anyways, whatever the experience is, when we take 100% responsibility for our experience, we have an opportunity to heal. I am doing good, Zoya. Thank you so much. Oh, well, thank you. You're so kind. So good to see you. I have one more sip of my vanilla latte I've been becoming an expert at making. It's watered down now. Okay. So there's an exercise of taking 100% responsibility. Okay, so you got that in the first 5 minutes. Now, what I would also offer to you is, as you're taking 100% full responsibility and you are connected with your heart, You do that act of kindness and notice how you feel. Okay? Notice how you feel. Notice if anything shifts. Okay, Mick is saying, same with me and my younger brother, but I bowed out and we're very different. I'm also younger one too. Yeah, I don't know what to say about the dynamics of being the youngest, but I will say I do think there's something there with being the youngest. Like for me, I'm the lightning rod. I've always been the lightning rod in my family. When I was in college, I was a lightning rod in my cohort. When I was, and I was always very shy, but that didn't mean I didn't speak up. Do you know what I mean? So it's very interesting. Let me see. Nowadays, our family members are coming up with like, you are selfish kind. So always careful taking a step in anything. Well, people who use the word selfish to describe other people are usually describing themselves. And a lot of people that don't know about sovereignty and personal autonomy will call other people names. But by the way, who's calling other people names and like, what is that about? There's that. And also, when we are with people who are trying to divide us, they don't understand what they're doing. So really pay attention to those divide and conquer behaviors. We see it in social media. We see it on a global scale, but also look in your families. Like many of our families have been split and fractured because of these tactics, and also because we don't take full responsibility. I mean, even one of my closest friends, I had said some things and they weren't very nice. This is going back maybe 20 years ago. And I came back like 6 years later and said, we don't have to be friends, but please allow me to apologize. So this is the other thing about taking full responsibility, self-responsibility. Like make a list of all the things in your life that you need to take responsibility for and to correct. And to correct, is that an apology? Is that a clarification? Is that a note of gratitude and thank you? What is it that needs to be corrected, righted, if you will, for your own inner alignment? Because, it's okay to make a mistake, but you could also correct the mistake. So I asked her to go to lunch, and she generously said yes. So we met for lunch, and I gave a heartfelt apology. I gave no excuses, and I left the choice of us continuing as friends up to her. I would like to be friends, and now we've been friends for almost 30 years with some highs and lows, and there's a lot of respect in the relationship, and I am very grateful that she had a heart to forgive me for my mistake. And my mistake was very hurtful to her. And so how are you righting your wrongs? And it's not about being attached to outcomes. It's always going to be about being in alignment to your heart. Now, if you have somebody that's repeatedly apologizing to you, obviously they're not taking full responsibility. So send them this video. If you're getting this video, your person who sent it to you is offering you an invitation to take full responsibility and to correct things. One, you are co-creator, so if they don't like something you did, they need to understand that they co-created it with you. So that's exercise number 1, where you're taking 100% responsibility. Exercise number 2 is you're correcting things. This is an opportunity and an invitation for you to come correct and fix mistakes, not by changing the people, but changing your approach, being in kindness. So we are going to recap why we're here. I'm sorry, I just want to get this spammer out of here. Okay, Mick is saying, me as well, very similar to your experience in that regard. Oh, nice. That's very nice. Okay, so remember, this is October. We're doing 30 days of acts of kindness every single day. My act of kindness right now is deleting these people. I don't have a lot of followers, but those who are here, we don't need to see that nonsense. I mean, I know there's a lot of bots, but there's also a lot of really ignorant people. We want to have compassion for them and also send them on their way, right? So we're doing acts of kindness. Acts of kindness from the heart, 30 days in October. Please join me on this journey and just see what and how your life can change with doing these acts of kindness every single day. It's a principle of the laws of one. It's a principle of unity consciousness, being in your heart and expressing kindness. It's not for me, it's for you and us. We're all in this together. So my name is Kiana. If you find this interesting or you like what I'm having to say, please give me a thumbs up, a comment if you're watching on replay, and thank you for being here. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I've really enjoyed doing these YouTubes. I like when I'm not by myself sharing, so I appreciate you all. What do you think about your life right now? And take your life decisions. I think my life is pretty amazing, and I love sharing these little pieces of wisdom with you all. And you have the final choice to take what I say if you want to try it, or just leave it behind. Everything here is about being in alignment, so you got to take what resonates and leave the rest for somebody else. All right. Cheers, y'all. Have a great day. See you tomorrow.